Hi, as many of you are aware, over the past few months I've been on a bit of a journey with cancer and chemo and a few issues along the way, and it's an ongoing journey. But I've been asked to share just a few things of what God has been showing to me during this journey. And the first thing I'd want to say is God has showed me that His promises are true. In particular, if I could just refer to Psalm 23, where it says, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me." And several times in the Bible, we're told that God is with us. And it's easy, I guess, when you're doing a mountaintop experience, to imagine that God is with you, and to believe that when you do go through the valley, He will continue to be with you. But when you're actually in the valley, it's great to know that He is there, right with you. And certainly when David wrote those words, he knew what he was writing. He'd experienced it himself. And I just want to encourage anybody who might be walking through a dark valley at the moment, that God's promise is true. All His promises are true. Whether we're going through good times or tough times, it doesn't matter. His promises remain true. I guess the second thing is to do with priorities. In Matthew chapter 6 verse 33, it says, "But seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these other things will be added unto you." And it doesn't say seek first His kingdom when things are going well, or when you're young, or when you're healthy, but seek first His kingdom. And that's one of the things that I've been learning, that even though my health hasn't been so great, those priorities haven't changed. My responsibility is still to seek first His kingdom. And I guess in a similar vein, in terms of character, in Corinthians we're told 3 things last forever: faith, hope and love. And the message to me was continue to work on those things. Things that aren't going to last forever really don't deserve a lot of our time. It's more to invest in the things that will be of eternal value. So continue to work on faith, hope and love, because they are the things that will last, will bring lasting fruit. And a couple of things in Hebrews. If I can read Hebrews 12, 1 to 3. Starts off, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles." And I don't know if anybody thinks that once you get to a certain age that sin becomes easy to handle. But it's not true. Whatever age you are, sin is always there at the door. And unless you're watching out for it, it can entangle you very quickly. And just thinking of things like pride, self-righteousness, self-sufficiency, even a lack of love, a lack of grace, or losing your first love. There are a whole range of things which could fall into that category. And so God has also been saying to me, be aware of that and don't allow sin to entangle you, but steer clear of it and keep going. And similarly, as we read on in Hebrews 12, let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before Him, He endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. consider him who endured such opposition from sinners, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. And however long I've got left on this earth, what I want to do is to finish the race well. And I guess it saddens me to read lots of stories in recent times about Christians, well-known Christians, who would appear to have not finished well. And for me, I want to finish well. I know my son is a bit of a runner. He likes to, he's done a couple of marathons, but also half marathons, the Point to Pinnacle. And you don't get a prize for, being first to 100 metres from the end of the race. You need to finish the race. And I want to finish the race and to finish it well. And the final thing to share is a message that don't get distracted. I believe God has called me to a prayer ministry, and it would be easy to allow myself to get distracted by other things. But just like in the Apostles, we read that some of the widows had a legitimate gripe that they weren't getting a fair deal. And the Apostles recognised that, and they made arrangements for that to be fixed. But they also said it wouldn't be right for us to neglect the ministry of the word, to wait on tables. They had their calling, and so they needed to stick to that and get other people to look after other problems. My calling is to prayer ministry, and the message to me is don't allow myself to be distracted by other things, but do what I've been called to do to the best of my ability for as long as I can. Thanks.